I'm Scott Kurland. Welcome to the Kurlander, fake news with a purpose. My guest tonight is Dick Reidy, Harvard professor and financial analyst. Okay, here it is, people, your fake news for the week. Last week, photos emerged of Casey Anthony and a dog she newly adopted. Really, Sarah McLachlan? Are you that desperate to find dogs for people? Because if so, you totally dropped the ball. Last week, the GOP debate took place featuring Rick Santorum, Mitt Romney, and Newt Gingrich as the beaver. Is it just me, or is Newt Gingrich becoming like the snarf of the Republican Thundercats? And that leaves Michelle Bachmann as Peppermint Patty. Herman Cain is once again changing his story of sexual harassment. But are we honestly shocked? I mean, before he was a presidential candidate, he was a pizza mogul. And if you remember his slogan, if we're 30 minutes late, your is free. Kathy Griffin stripped on Letterman 2 weeks ago, and gay men all over the world were excited until they found out that she was not a drag queen. A college student in Kansas found a bag of cocaine in a textbook she recently purchased off of Amazon.com. That's right, folks, Amazon.com, the site you use when you don't want your parents knowing you're doing blow. Supposedly, the captain of the Costa Concorde cruise liner, Francisco Schettini, ordered dinner for himself and a lady visitor as the ship was sinking. I mean, who would have guessed that a man who abandoned his post, sunk a ship, and was selfish enough to order dinner for himself? I am just shocked. Well, not really, but this really begs the question, what does one order when they crash $1 million cruise liner and endanger the lives of thousands of people? I'm guessing a panini. A man in Thailand married his recently deceased girlfriend, leading to the award of the worst ventriloquist act ever. Oh man, I can do better than that. Okay, let's try this again. A man in Thailand married his recently deceased girlfriend. If you'd like to get them a wedding present, they're registered at Dead Bath & Beyond. Nope, not feeling that one. Ugh, come on, Curling, get your head in the game. Okay, last one. A man in Thailand just married his recently deceased girlfriend. If you ask me, I don't think it's going to last. There we go! Yes! Okay, moving on. When Lowell firefighters went to address a fire at 40 Paul Street, it wasn't only wood they smelled burning. They found a gold mine of marijuana plants. While combating the fire, the firefighters mysteriously removed their breathing masks. Then 10 minutes later, ran across the street to the 7-Eleven and cleaned them out of Funyuns, Twinkies, Ho-Hos, Ding Dong, whatchamacallit, Funny Bones, all while giggling and blasting Grateful Dead music out of the fire truck. Somewhere in a cloud in heaven, George Carlin is laughing his butt off. A man in Swansea was charged $2,000 for installing video cameras in the female bathroom stalls at his local bar and grill establishment that he owns. In addition, the man was asked to take down the cameras. "That's not fair," yelled Larry Flint. This week is Valentine's Day. Pizza Hut offered a deal called the Engagement Box. It's a $10,010 package that includes a ruby red engagement ring, fireworks, a photographer, and a Pizza Hut pizza box. In return, your fiance will give you a prenuptial agreement because you got her engagement ring from a Pizza Hut. Susanna Barrett, mother of toddlers and Tiara star Isabella Barrett, is suing TMZ for $30 million because she is claiming they exaggerated the story and put her daughter in a sexual light. Wait a minute. She sold the story to TMZ and expected them not to turn it into a tabloid lie? I bet she also thinks that she really met the man of her dreams at that Kmart she shops at. Kim Jong-un, new leader of Korea and the son of the late ruler Kim Jong-il, received the rock star treatment in North Korea. He went on to then trash a hotel room, throw a cherry bomb down the toilet, then threw a TV out the window and bagged a groupie, or as Lindsay Lohan calls it, Thursday night. In Ipswich, Australia, a red dog named River saved his 2 girl masters from a venomous snake. In related news, Spuds McKenzie saved a bikini model from partying too much. The Taco Bell Corporation decided that across America in 800 locations, they're going to be offering breakfast to compete with McDonald's, Subway, and Burger King. In addition to offering 3 meals, you'll also have 3 times the diarrhea. Is Mexico City safe from a drug war? That was a title that ran on the front page of several newspapers all last week. Is Mexico City safe from a drug war? My guess would be probably not. The rate of American obesity is at an all-time high, unchanged from last year. Congratulations, everyone! We're the fattest country in the world. When asked for a response, the spokesman for the CDC said, "Are you serious? We just made pizza a vegetable. Are you that surprised?" Well, the sting of the Super Bowl is still on us, but let's just remember this. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots crushed Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos 4 weeks ago, 45-10, which goes to prove one thing. Tebow may pray to Jesus, but God is a Patriots fan, and the devil roots for the Giants. Mitt Romney denied on last Monday's debate about his stance on unemployment cutbacks. Romney claims, "My stance is neither for or against ending jobs." But he added, it probably ends with a pink slip and someone not working at their intended place of business anymore. Last week, President Obama nixed the proposal for the Keystone Pipeline. The pipeline would have been 90,000 feet and would have carried oil, tar, and other chemicals from the U.S. to Canada and then back to Mexico. Instead, they decided to build a giant magnifying glass faced at Canada. Far safer way to blow up the Great White North, said Joe Biden. Mitt Romney said last week, "I'm not concerned about the very poor because they have a safety net. If there's holes in that net, I'll fix it." Has Romney not seen a net? It's nothing but holes. If it wasn't, it would be a sheet. And I know what you're thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Newt Gingrich is looking pretty darn good now, huh? After rumors of recently divorced singer Katy Perry dating Denver Bronco Tim Tebow, released a statement denying a relationship with Perry. The gist of what he said was basically, "She makes Jesus cry, and that in return makes me cry." Tim Tebow, you are an idiot, sir. Country singer Garth Brooks is suing Integris Canadian Valley Regional Hospital in Yukon, Oklahoma for not using his $500,000 donation the way that it was intended for. In related news, apparently Garth Brooks still has $500,000. At the Good Day USA Black Tie Gala, actor Jon Voight said that Hollywood should be afraid of the Jolie Pitt kids, aka his grandchildren, because they have serious acting chops growing up in such a supportive, acting-based family. In other news, Suri Cruise is probably going to grow up crazy because her dad is nuts. Marianne Gingrich, ex-wife of Newt Gingrich, spoke this week to 2020, addressing claims that during the duration of her marriage to Newt, he wanted an open marriage so that he could be free to have a relationship with Callista Bizak, his current wife. Upon hearing this news, the entire world let out a giant shriek of "Ah!" Apple Computer's value on the stock market has now reached $400 billion. That's more than the country of Greece. Greece now has decided to release a press statement introducing the world to the iGyro, or iGyro, however you pronounce it. An Oklahoma bill that would be passed soon would ban the sale and consumption of food containing aborted human fetuses in it. In related news, gross. News broke this week on the Ivory Coast, revealing child slavery for the chocolate industry. It's not uncommon for chocolate owners to hire young, cheap labor. This dates back all the way to the 1970s when Willy Wonka hired a bunch of little orange men to sing songs and wear lederhosen. Taylor Swift recently went on record to Vogue magazine for their Valentine's Day issue, talking about, for the first time, her relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal, which she's still haunted by. Not because of how it ended, but because he's a ghost. No, he cheated on her. Follow-up to that last story. We all know I love Taylor Swift. So this is for you, Jake Gyllenhaal. How dare you break the heart of that golden locks goddess? She's beautiful and pretty and smart and... I needed that. Mark Wahlberg has issued an apology for his comments he made about if he was on the flight for 9/11, things would have gone down differently. He would have fought the terrorists and landed the plane safely. It's amazing. So many people are getting upset by this comment from the guy who played Dirk Diggler. He actually thinks he's the people he plays in movies. And if this is true, and all actors are really the characters from their movies, then I feel so sorry for Rick Moranis. In the further development of legalized gambling and casinos being in Massachusetts, MGM Casinos is interested in building a casino in Brimfield, Massachusetts, because when I think of drinking, gambling, and Bette Midler, I think of Brimfield, Massachusetts. The hot button issue in Massachusetts right now is possible job openings because of the House of Representatives just passed the bill, which it puts Massachusetts in a new direction. With more on this story, we go to our senior gambling reporter, Matthew Sinclair. Matt.
Good evening, Scott.
Matt, you look terrible. Where have you been?
I've been in Atlantic City.
Atlantic City? But we asked you to investigate the possibility of legalized gambling in Massachusetts. You were supposed to go to the State House.
I know, and I was doing research in Atlantic City for when it gets passed.
Well, it's been passed, Matt. We're just waiting for the land approval to be passed.
Oh, it'll be passed. It has to be passed. I'm down 30.
30 grand? How did you spend 30 grand?
IOUs, Scott. IOUs. I mean, hey, can you spot me, say, 30 grand?
Sorry, Matt, I'm a little low on cash. What would happen if after the land approval is passed once again, the land approval is passed? Are we looking at, like, speedy construction or a delayed process?
Oh, we're looking at some wonderful, wonderful things, Scott. We're looking at jobs, 1960s-style cigarette hat shake girls, and the enjoyable vocal styles of Mr. Barry Manilow. But I need to get the cash up front to get things rolling.
Wait, you're MGM's secret financial source? You still owe me $50.
Oh, Scott, you'll get the $50 and more if you invest.
I'm not going to invest, Matt. I'm a member of the press. I'm supposed to stay neutral, as you were supposed to stay neutral.
Well, just hear me out.
No, Matt. Tell me about the land development and what it means for MGM.
It's not looking good, Scott. It's not looking good at all. Since Barney Frank's calling quits, everyone's lost that old-fashioned moxie.
Well, Matt, once again, as I said before, they already passed the bill, so gambling is legal in Massachusetts.
Good. Good. Now, where's an ATM?
Sit down. Didn't you do your research?
I'll be honest with you, Scott. When you said casinos and gambling and gave me this assignment, well, I just booked it straight to Atlantic City. Atlantic City! Now, I'm 30 in the hole, and some guy named Big Rocco wants to break my legs and take the metal fillings out of my teeth. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have a lot of teeth and a lot of fillings.
You told me you had it under control, Matt.
Yes, that was when I was on a heater, and who would have known to bet on the Patriots against Denver?
You bet on Denver? Why?
I thought God really was on Tebow's side, and apparently it was a ruse, Scott. I mean, God likes Brady. Then I bet on the bowl for double or nothing.
Well, that was a brutal Super Bowl.
Super Bowl? Oh, no. I bet on the Puppy Bowl.
How much did you bet on the Puppy Bowl?
Well, let's just say it's enough for me to be scared and enough for me to want to run away to Scotland and hide and spend my life living as a swordsman named Ramirez. Now, as you know, Scott, I am an immortal, and the true way to kill me and others like me is to cut off my head. Because, as you know, there can only be one!
I'm pretty sure that was the premise for the movie Highlander.
Or is it?
It was.
Or was it?
Matt, that's Highlander, and you're not Sean Connery.
But you could be my McLeod.
I'm not going to be Connor McLeod. I refuse to be Christopher Lambert. I'd rather be Clancy Brown or even Roxanne Hart.
Well, then I lost more money on those sword replicas and me recording singing, "Who wants to live forever?" Who wants to live forever, Scott? Not me. Not anymore. It's just bad news, Scott.
Okay, Matt. Back to the story at hand. MGM put in a bid for land development. Is there a possibility Caesar's Palace or another like Fox Woods could put in a bigger offer?
Well, sure, that's always one option, but it's all about location. If they're smart, they'll go to a place with a lot of land.
Well, right now, Brimfield looks to be the eye of contention.
And with good cause. Have you seen Brimfield?
No.
Oh, me neither. Does the place even exist, or is it some sort of Narnia?
Well, what about the possibility of Brimfield saying no to land development?
Well, if Brimfield says no, there's always Chelmsford, your hometown.
No, Matt.
What about right here in Wakefield?
No, Matt. You need a place with land to spare.
What about Matopia?
Once again, Matopia is the fictional land in your head. It's not real.
Scottopolis is the capital of Matopia.
Matopia it is! Matt Sinclair, everyone. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Scott.
We'll be right back. My guest tonight is Dick Reidy. And, Dick, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
You've been a big supporter of the station and the show, and we thank you. You are right now teaching and a financial consultant, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so my big question, like the thing that's really been kind of making me curious, is the whole Las Vegas and Massachusetts. Is this a good idea? Is this a horrible idea? Because it kind of sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, I'm not a proponent of gambling, although I do gamble. I think that when you get these big casinos coming in here to Massachusetts, they kind of give the illusion to the public that we're going to be like Las Vegas or New Jersey and get all sorts of entertainment and money and what have you. I don't think that's going to happen. My belief is that there are people who are gambling. The state of Massachusetts is competing against New Hampshire and Connecticut,
Yep.
particularly Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. And they hope to be able to do something here in the state, and they try to tie in Bob Kraft with the Patriot Place to try to galvanize some revenue. And by doing that, they believe that millions of dollars are going to come in. They're going to get a lot of jobs and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, if it was as simple as that, I'm all for it. However, I believe that there's a social problem that comes along with gambling. And I know at least today there are 3 million addicted gamblers in the United States, and that doesn't bode well. Here we are trying to expand gambling, and maybe we're trying to increase crime.
You mentioned Bob Kraft. Is this going to end with like Bob Kraft turning into Howard Hughes, and he's going to just be in like a penthouse apartment, crazy with his fingernails growing? Like, this sounds like a terrible idea. The whole job initiative, that's great. Our economy needs it, yes. But this sounds like a horrible, horrible idea.
Yeah, it has the remnants of all of that. And if Bob Kraft were to do it, if he looked like Howard Hughes, you don't have to grow a beard, wear a robe, and come across like that. But when the economy went bad, I think back in 2008, and it was coming along 2007, you could see the gambling crowd creeping into Massachusetts. They saw an opportunity. This is what happens when the economy goes bad in any area. The gambling crowd comes out and says, hey, look, this is going to be good. You don't have any money, so why don't you gamble?
Wait, how was there gambling going on? Like, are we talking about like basements underground with like cockfights and like dog fights? Like, are we talking like actual like casinos? Like, and if there are casinos, where are they?
Well, they're not here yet. Okay, they're all in the planning stages. However, when you mention gambling and talk about jobs, any politician loves. They're like Pavlov's dog.
Yeah.
You mention that, and they come charging out to do what their thing is for the goodness of the community. And I have a problem with that personally. And plus the fact that with this gambling law, they can, after a year out of government, they can go and work for the gambling casino. Is that good? I'd say no. I'm just concerned that, hey, once you've done something legislatively, hey, just get away from it and leave it to the general public to go out and get a decent job for themselves. Right
now in Massachusetts, our job rate is at an all-time low. Like, it hasn't been this low since what, 1936, 1935?
Job rate, the unemployment rate?
The unemployment rate in Massachusetts alone, I mean, across the country, it's crazy. But, I mean, what should we be doing? Because it doesn't seem like, this is the answer. Should we be, putting more into small business? Should we be building, more department stores? I mean, what would you do?
Well, construction is always a big opportunity in the economy when it's down, because you can get, it's the most depressed part of the business, and once you start to build roads, whether you do repair work or infrastructure, that works to your advantage, and the economy will start to grow from that point. And the money goes out and it gets right back into the community. So that's pretty cool. Gambling casinos, if we're still talking about that, that's construction, yes, that's all good. And what's going to happen there is that's going to happen like in 3 or 4 years. It's not going to happen right away. So people saw this thing coming, they said, gee, all of a sudden we're going to get employed. So I think the small business community always is the fastest to grow in a down economy. And so jobs like construction, people who start up, women have been so successful in starting up business. I think 65% of the new businesses that start up are done by women. And so women are very creative, very industrious, and so they see the opportunity, they jump to it. Guys sometimes are looking to the mid-sized and large-sized corporations to try to make it happen, and I don't think it happens that quickly. So maybe I'm saying look to women to help bail out the economy, not the guys.
Well, there was a whole expose done recently that women have been putting together like privately owned clothing stores and bakeries and like this amazing thing, and all we as men can think of is, hey, can we like spend more money to gamble? So honestly, I guess my question is, shouldn't we be like looking more at, for construction, not for gambling, not for anything crazy like that, shouldn't we be focusing on like homes and building houses?
Oh, sure.
Like Brimfield, Massachusetts is one of the places they're looking for. And the land, the meadowland that they have eyed out, that could be a beautiful suburban neighborhood. And, privately owned contractors could be making a killing, and that could be another way for financial gain, right? Or am I just crazy?
No, that certainly is a way to boost the economy, get the economy going. There are people who are readily available to go up and do that kind of work. However, you have to think about who has money to buy a home.
Right.
Okay, do we have money as the government? If we want to keep on looking to the government can't always bail those opportunities out for us. So you have to think about, hey, how do people get a job? Get them a job, help them get a job, and so they can use that to play into buying a new home. If Brimfield is a community they want to develop and they can have reasonably priced homes, I think there's an opportunity there. So you get people who can buy the house, you get the construction workers who can build them for the community and get money flowing into the community as well. I think there's an opportunity there. Plus you would get not just construction workers, you get electricians, carpenters, plumbers, you get some road work done. you know, and then you start to build up a community. Right now, as far as I know, Burnfield's kind of a bedroom community. If you could grow that, it's closer to New Hampshire. Maybe there's some kinship that can be developed about developing and getting work in the state from up there.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem like things are as black and white as they're saying they are. I feel like right now we should be focusing on education, job research. There are so many things that we could be doing. Job counselors, I really think that is a resource that hasn't been looked into. Job counselors and you know, financial, you know, analysts like yourself. I mean, honestly, you guys are the future. But I just feel right now this is not a good idea. Right now, a casino, no, not so much.
Well, the casino, I mean, when they're talking about the casino, people believe that's going to happen right away. It still has some way to go.
That's
so
what,
I would
5
say
years down the line?
You put it down the back burner. There are other things you could do. I think the growth, a lot of people are going back to college to either hone their skills or get better educated, what have you. Like Bunker Hill Community College, all these community colleges, they're full. They're growing. And because they know, people know you have to go back to those colleges to get educated because we're in a new economy. Get some new ideas, become associated with some people, do some networking. Those are all the beneficial factors that come out of that. And so we should be encouraging people to go back to school. Even if you're currently employed, you have to hone those skills because who knows that in a few years, all of a sudden your skill is no longer necessary. So you have to keep on the edge all the time.
There's always something down the line.
There is. It's not a casino.
Not a casino. Well, first of all, thank you, Dick, for being on the show. It's been great, and you really supported the station and this show, and you are welcome on this show anytime you want. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dick.
the offer.
Dick Reidy, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will be right back. That's our show. Thank you to Dick Reidy for stopping by. I'm Scott Kurland, and that's your news. Well, kind of.